Good morning, children. Today we are going to start with a very new, very novel topic. So now you are in class 11. This particular topic is for 11 and 12 both. And this is a new topic for class 11 students. And this is quite handy. This is quite handy. This is quite helpful. So first we will see what is a note making. So why we exactly make the note? Now my dear children, so I will give you in brief why we make the note and what are the processes, what are the tips, what are the steps, everything I will be telling. I will be telling the mechanism, I will be telling the arts and science of making the note to make it damn easy, quite easy. Therefore, stay with me and simply learn through Hey Jalal. So, let us start it. Now, my dear children, first let us see what note making is. Note taking and note making is little different. What is a note making? Note making is a handy skill. Okay? Handy skill. So, why this skill is needed? This skill is needed because it is very helpful for the students. It is very helpful during the exam time. So, when you are studying the history, when you are studying the physics, chemistry, biology or English, then what happen? The chapters will be very longer. When you are making the note, the main point, the gist, the central idea, the summary, then it becomes quite handy, and your skill also, your rational power, logical power and thinking power also get lot of enhancement. Therefore, this is very much helpful. So, just before the examination, so if you just pick at the note that you have prepared, then it goes a long way, means it becomes very much helpful into the examination. You recall, you remember from the note you have prepared, and you can be fruitful. You can do well into the examination. Therefore, my dear children, note making is a very, very handy way or the skill, and that is to be mastered. Now, there are many types of note making. Okay, there are many types of note making. And as per CBSE rules, so we'll be following the one that is called the linear form. Okay, the linear form means it will be in the form of the line. It will be form of the indent, I-N-D-E-N-T. Indent means was, so changing of the line means changing of the margin of the margin. So when you are changing the margin, that is called indenting. Suppose there will be the main point, there will be sub point will be again supported by the sub point, and in this way, when you are changing the particular column or the indent, that is called indenting. Have you got it? Therefore, we'll go in detail, and then you will see that note making is very, very helpful, and you are getting 100% marks into the final examination. Therefore, without wasting our time, let us go for note making. Therefore, let us go for it. Now, let us continue. So, first we will see what note making is, and after that, finally, we will be making the summary of it also, and we will be using the proper format, and we will be taking one sample of the passes, and I will show you the way to solve. Now, my dear children, if you do not practice, then it becomes a very difficult, and there are a lot of precautions to be made. You will have to be alert. In many of the cases, you will have to be alert. So now you will be writing into the form of, the note will have to be written into the form, not of sentence, but of the phrases and the clause, particularly the phrases. And the major words also to be shortened. To be shortened. And what are the weight of the shortening? What are the ways of the abbreviation? That also I will tell you. Simply stay with me and learn. Here we go. Let's continue. Now let us continue. So this is the definition of what a note making is. So this is the definition. Now let us see what is the definition. Note making is an advanced writing skill. Which is gaining importance due to knowledge explosion. So my dear children, let us see. So today is the modern age. So this is also called the postmodern age. Postmodern age means after the modern age. This is the age of technology. Therefore, in the modern age or the postmodern age, what we see is that there is explosion of knowledge, means there is vastness of the knowledge. When there is a vastness of the knowledge, this vastness is to be what? It is to be abridged. Abridged. It is to be shortened. It is to be shortened. Why it is to be shortened? Because it will be quite easy to remember. Okay. So this is the way by which you can remember, you can organize, and you can rearrange according to your own convenience, so that you can remember, recall, and reproduce. Therefore, my dear children, so in the modern age, there is certainly the spread of the knowledge, and we are living in the knowledge society, and therefore this particular art, the art of writing note, is very much helpful, very much handy, very much needed. Therefore, that is the need, and the definition is there is a need to remember at least the main point of any given subject. Now see, if we do not know the definition, what note making is, then the very purpose of writing also will be kind of futile exercise. It will be a futile kind of exercise. Means it will be a failure. It will be a kind of failure. It will be a kind of failure. Therefore, what is needed is that we need to remember the main points. Remember the main points. Making notes is a complex activity which combines several skills. So when you are making the note, it is a great skill, and it has lot of skill are mingled or mixed. ये जो ऐसा स्किल है, दो स्किल में बहुत सारे स्किल इकट्ठा है. वो कैसे स्किल है? Number 1, there is the skill of generalization. The skill of finding out, or scanning. है ना? Scanning तो आप जानते हैं ना? Scanning means what? Finding out. So search for and find out what is important, what is vital. That's what scanning means. You should have the power. You will have the power to scan and find out what really is important. What is the main point? Then again there is the key sentence. What sentence? Key sentence. So what is the key sentence, my dear children? Key sentence. जब हम एक पैसेज हमको दिया जाएगा, पैसेज में भी of different type, like there is narrative passage or descriptive passage. There will be reflective passage or meditative passage. There will be abstract passage. So normally speaking, when the question paper will be easy, then the particular passage will be the narrative or the descriptive passage. Means some sort of stories will be told. Therefore, and in those particular passages, there will be key sentence, and the key sentence particularly where it is to be found? It is to be found in the beginning of the passage. It is to be found in the beginning of the passage. Therefore, what you note down? you have to note down the key sentence. For what purpose? In order to give the title. Okay, alright. So I'll be telling it in detail, and now I'm just introducing you to everything related to note making, so that you can have the idea of what note making is. Therefore, now let us see. Now let us see the style of the note making. So, what are the style of the note making? Let us go to another slide. Here we move. Okay, my dear children, I am starting with one particular quote from a very great writer. Have you heard of Francis Bacon? So we'll be going in a very slow and systematic manner, in a fluent manner, so that you can have the understanding as well as your imagination also get developed. Because when you are reading the passage for summarizing, for extracting the key point, sub point and sub point, your imagination certainly will have a greater play. Therefore, let us see now Francis Bacon. Okay, have you heard of Francis Bacon? So Francis Bacon is called the father of English prose. Father of English prose. Alright, Francis Bacon. So Francis Bacon told about what? Told about reading, told about conference, and told about writing. Now see. So this is quite important. Reading maketh a full man, conference a ready man, and writing an exact man. So when you are reading, that actually maketh, this is the old English, and the simple meaning is reading makes a full man. Means when you are reading, it makes you a complete man. Then when you are when you are into the conference, okay, that means when you are discoursing or discussing, when you are discussing, maybe into the group discussion, talking with the friend, talking with the relatives or other, then when you are discussing the particular topic of your class with your friend, that actually knowledge becomes ready knowledge. Alright? The last one, when you are writing, when it comes to the writing, it is an exact man. So when you are writing, then no idea will elude. No idea will elude means escape. Okay? Supposing you are studying the biology and you know the theory and other, okay, but if you do not make the writing practice, then what will happen? When you will start writing in the examination hall, then what will happen? Many of the idea will exit, escape, or go away. So for this purpose, what is needed? Writing is very much needed. Therefore, in this particular chapter, so we'll go through what? We'll go through the reading of the passage. And after that, we'll be discussing. What we'll be discussing? We'll be discussing about the rules, how to make the note. And after that, we'll be writing the note in the proper format. In the proper CBSE format. There are two different ways. Okay. That means there is 1.1.1 in the decimal format, and another one is 1A Roman number 1. So in this format also you can write. So you are at liberty from both these two. You can choose one and you can go for, but you should not use both of them into the same answer. That will be very clumsy. That will be very odd. Therefore, let us go forward. Now let us continue. Okay, let us continue. So here you see, suppose you are in a class and the teacher is teaching a very important concept. It is difficult for us to remember everything taught in the class in the same order. Also in our daily lives, it is not possible to memorize everything. To overcome this difficulty, one needs note down important points or details. This note helps us in the time of need. the noting down of the useful concept and the points in the basis of what one says note making. In this section, we will study note making and note making format. Therefore, you have understood. So your teacher is teaching a particular concept, and the thing is that it is not very much possible to remember or recall every concept. Therefore, so while the teacher is teaching, yes, I am writing the important points in my rough, or running note. Then it will be quite handy in the note making or in the assignment that I do, or in the long run it will be helping me in the examination too. Therefore, there is need. Say for example, a particular minister, maybe it is the Prime Minister or Railway Minister or any other education minister is visiting your place. So he will have the protocol. So he will have the people from the media, people from different strata or the society, they will represent and they will come. Now, so when you will be giving the lecture, it is not possible to remember everything, and therefore what the reporters do, the staff reporters particularly, they note down the important points, and these note down points, these are reproduced or they are enlarged or they are expanded to make the article, news article that we study. Have you got it, my dear children? So I suppose till now your concept of what is note making is very much clear. Why you make the note, that is also clear. The definition of what is a note making is also clear. Now we will be going to the practical aspect of making the note, the steps to be followed, the points to be remembered, the tips to be followed. Some practical tips, that is to be followed into the case of note making that we will be discussing now. Now let us continue. Here we go. So first we will be talking about the advantage of note making. You also make a note of all this, then it will be quite easier for you. So when you know the benefit, when you know the outcome of anything, outcome of the result. So I am doing a particular act. It will bear some fruit. Therefore that is called the advantage, and the advantage of note making. Let us see. A note making is a skill which is improved by practicing. So it is a skill. Note making is a skill, and it improves day by day when you are practicing continuously. There are some advantages of note making. Let us get to know some of them. It has a great importance in exam or into the academic writing. Into the exam, this note making is very much helpful, or it is very much handy or fruitful. It is an organization of main points, means the main points are organized. Note making helps in keeping the information handy. It is very much convenient. It is very much helpful. When you are making the note, it is very handy. So when you are, say for example, you are the head of a particular institution or an organization, then when you are taking a particular meeting also, then you are writing in the form of the note. That becomes very handy when you are elaborating the point before the members, before the distinguished or honorable members. It helps in recollecting and recalling the past events said or heard. So these are note making help us in recollecting or recalling the past events of the past that is said or that is heard. Because when you are keeping the record, then writing make an exact man. That means you will be exact. By what? By recollecting or recalling. It helps in concentrating, understanding, and provides a permanent record. There are three arrests. Okay, you know there are three arrests, means reading, writing and recapitulation or recollecting. So all these three arrests are followed here. Therefore, what exactly happened? Your memory become permanent when you are making the note of it. You can concentrate, you can understand, and it also helps in making the record permanent. Note making format helps a writer to go through the bulky documents quicker. So there is a huge document, there is a bulky document, and it helps, the note making helps in going through that particular bulky documents. It helps in understanding a material into the notes are in own words. So when you are writing the notes, not in the language of the writer, but in your own language, when you are simplifying it, okay, when you are writing some of the words in your own way, then it becomes quite handy. You can remember, you can understand, recollect, reorganize and re-record. It distinguishes between main points and details. Moreover, what it does, it also distinguishes between the main points and the details of it. Therefore, let us continue. Now, let us see what are the characteristics of the good note. This is very, very important, my dear children. So, what are the characteristics of the good note? So, it should be short and compact. Short and compact means it will not be taking much space. Good note must be short and compact. Complete information, they must contain all of the important information. So when you are abridging and when you are shortening the main passage, then it should not be like that some important information or some important points are missed. It is logical. They must be prepared in a logical way. Means in the form of in the form of the flow chart. Right? Means the data will flow according to their own importance. They will be following in a logical manner. Okay, they will be following in a rational manner. Rational manner means they will be following what? They will be following the cause and effect formula. Cause and effect formula they will be following. Okay, so in this way they will be flowing automatically as there is the flow of the river water. Then, so it should be understandable. Means it should be understandable, or in other words, it should be legible. Legible, another good word. Legible. They should be understandable when consulted at a later stage. So when you are consulting on when you are referring to it in later time, it should be understandable or it should be intelligible. INTELLIGIBL, intelligible or understandable or legible. Okay. Now we will be going to the practical aspect of it. So the mechanics of note making. So let us go to the mechanics of note making. So here we move. Let us go. So we are coming to the practical aspect of the note making, my dear children. So what are the practical aspect of making the note making that we need to know now? So we have started the process now. So this is the mechanics of the note making. The mechanics. This. The which means the rules of making the notes. So now before going to this particular note on note making, let me tell you one important tip. Okay, one important tip. The tip is that, so when you are going to the particular passage, okay, so what you need to do, so the first thing that you need to do is this WH question means what? That means you are asking your question. What means? What is the subject that it deals with? That means you will be concentrating on what and you will be asking the question, what does it deal with, or what is the subject, or what is the topic, or what is the heading. Then on the basis of that, so you can get the gist, you can get the GIST, gist, the central idea, and from that you can go to the key sentence, you can go to the heading. Okay, for that you will be getting 1 mark. When you are writing to the heading or the title of the note making, you are getting 1 mark. Therefore, so in order to get that, what you will have to do, so while you are reading, okay, in reading also there are many techniques. Okay, in reading many techniques are there. Okay, number one is WROW, browsing. Then SKIM, skimming, and SCAN, scanning. So these are the technique, and particularly what we do at present time, we go for extended meaning. Extended meaning means the global understanding of the particular passage. Therefore, so when you are browsing out of the, when you are reading the particular passage, so first you browse means you go through first. Okay, so that also I'll be talking. So I'll be making another video of the reading comprehension, and in that I'll be telling you what are the different aspects of the reading. So from there you can understand it better, the technique, because this reading comprehension is, okay, so crucial that it starts from class 5 to all the examination, any competitive examination. Therefore, reading comprehension is a must, and you need to know the technique, you need to know the mechanics of that. Now let us see. So when what we're talking about the tips. So you are writing first, you are reading it, you are browsing it, and then on the basis of your browsing, what you are doing on the basis of your browsing. So you are asking the question, what means, what does this particular passage deal with? Yes, then you are getting the answer. Yes. So where you will get the answer? You will be getting the answer in the beginning of the passage. Okay, in most of the cases, means say for example 95% of the cases, what you will do, you will be getting the key sentence, okay, key sentence, that will be getting in the beginning of the passage. And on the basis of that, what you will be doing? So you will be writing the heading. क्या लिखेंगे? You will be writing the heading. Heading का मतलब क्या है? Heading का मतलब है title. Okay, means you are giving the title to the passage. So many times, my dear children, this title is written just above the summary, and many times it is written and on the top of the note making. So you are taking the A4 size paper, on top of it, in the middle, in the center, you are writing the title. Title can be written in two different ways. It can be written in the running form, means the main word or the central word will be in capital, and the other will be in small letters, or you can go to the block letter, the capital letter. So this is the way of writing the title. So after writing the title, what you will be doing? So you will be coming to the left corner of the A4 size paper, and then you will be writing the notes. That I will be telling you, and that I will be showing you into the page. Okay. After that, what you will see, tips number 2. Now I am going little detail so that you can understand better, because these are the first. Okay, these are for the first time that you know what note making is. Therefore, initially it will be difficult for you a little. Therefore, what you need to do, you take a short passage. You can take the passage from the newspaper, from the magazine, from the wisdom or other. Okay, any short magazine too. And there you see many time this passages are already illustrated. Therefore you can take that and you can make exercises. Now the second thing that I was talking about is that what you will have to do, you will have to divide. Okay, you divide the passage the passage into 3, है ना। आप क्या करेंगे, ये जो पैसेज है, पैसेज को ना प्रैक्टिकली, मेंटली, वर्चुअली आप 3 पार्ट में डिवाइड करेंगे, है ना। वो जो 3 पार्ट में हम डिवाइड करेंगे वो क्या होगा, हमारा 3 मेजर पॉइंट्स और 3 मेन पॉइंट्स होगा, है ना। अब उसके बाद देखेंगे कि ये जो फर्स्ट पॉइंट है उसको मतलब कंट्रीब्यूट मतलब किसने किया है, उसके अंदर में कौन से पॉइंट हैं, what are the points that are there in the point number 1, means what are the points that are affiliated to, that belong to point number 1 or contribute to point number 1. In this way you can write, okay, the sub point of 1, sub point of 2, sub point of 3. So this is quite handy. That means the second tip, the practical tip, beautiful tip is that you need to divide the passage into practical 3 parts. I suppose it is clear. Now let us go to the mechanics. So here we go. Let us continue. While making notes, we follow certain standard practice. This may be listed as below: heading and subheading. So there should be heading and subheading. Abbreviations and symbols. My dear children, these abbreviations, so why these abbreviations are used? Abbreviations are used particularly for the purpose of making it shorter. For the purpose of making it shorter. Now, how can you make it shorter? So you can use the standard abbreviation like CBSE, Central Board of Secondary Education. Okay, in place of Central Board of Secondary Education, we are writing CBSE. So we are writing WHO, World Health Organization. So we are writing in place of World Health Organization, we are writing. So many times what exactly happened? So there are other forms also that I will also be discussing in a very elaborating manner so that you can understand that. So the shorter forms we can shorten it. Okay, shorten it particularly some of the contraction are there. Contraction. Some shortened form are there. Like say for example, INFO dot means information. GOVT dot means government. Okay, COMP dot company. That means these are the contraction form, and that is to be also be followed into the form of the abbreviation. And many symbols are there, mathematical symbols and numerals are also there, that also can be used. Say for example, this is the summation, sigma summation. So in this way, many are there. Means this is the sign of the implies the sign. Okay. So in this way, you can use the mathematical symbols also for the sake of making it short. Now we need to do what we need to do. Follow certain forms, and there are 2 forms, but we will be following only one form so that there is no confusion, and we will be going for the decimal form. The photocopy of the same is there. I will be showing you the photocopy of the same too. Numbering and indentation. This is quite important, my dear children. So numbering means the main point 1, main point 2, 2, third main point is 3, and then indenting will be 1.1 means subpoint of the first one. Subpoint of the second main point will be 2.1 means this will be into the form of the indent. So what is indent also? That also I have already discussed. So I'll be again repeating the same. Now let us go for what is heading and subheading. The heading reflects the main theme, whereas the subheadings point out how it has been developed. So as the title itself refers, heading means the main point. It reflects the main thing, means the main theme, main gist. There is the subheading. It points out to how it contributes to the heading. The selection of the proper heading under the subheading reveals the grasp of the passage by the students. Now, my dear children, so when I am selecting and organizing, and when I am organizing this main point or the sub point or the subheading, that actually shows my understanding of the grasp of the passage. In the absence of the proper assimilation of the main ideas and subsidiary points, it's impossible to make note. Therefore, so if you cannot assimilate the main point and the subsidiary point or the sub point, then it is quite impossible to make the note. Therefore, so you should have the capacity to assimilate, means collect. Assimilate means what? Collect. Means accumulate. Accumulate. Mulate means gather. है ना? Gather करना. क्या gather करना? Main point. And then you also gather what are the points that is contributing to the main point. So in this way, if you have the capacity to understand that, grasp that, then your understanding of the note making is complete. Then let us see how to do the abbreviations. Let us see how to do the abbreviations. Let us see the abbreviations. They are used for the precision. They are used for the precision. They are used for the precision and the economy of the word, and hence quite helpful in note making. So in the note making, say for example, I am using this particular symbol. This particular symbol is used for hence. Hence. Okay. Therefore, there is another one. This symbol. So these are the symbol, mathematical symbol. This hence and therefore. This is hence and this is therefore. So this actually helps us. What? This helps us in making the note, and this actually is the economy of the word and quite helpful and handy. At least 4 recognizable abbreviations are to be used in note making in a board examination. My dear children, many of the students are in the dark, okay, because they are not familiar with the rules. How many abbreviations to be used, sir? So my answer is that in the final examination, the board examination, particularly class 12 examination, what you need to do? You need at the most 5 abbreviation, standard abbreviation, and if you give a mixture of all, then it becomes that. So particularly you use the standard form of the abbreviation, then you use the contract form of the abbreviation, then you give some symbol, then it looks so fantastic. Therefore, you do it according to your own convenience. These are essential components of the note making. These are essential components of the factor, elements of note making. Students of making use of abbreviation and symbols in doing their written work. So in the written work also, so you do use the symbols and it becomes. So my dear children, many times children ask, sir, so what is particularly when you are making the note using a particular format, what is this particular space? Okay, what is the particular space or the place? So my answer is that you can use after the note, when the note is over, format is over, just below the note you can give what? You can make a table. In the table you will be writing serial number. Then you will be writing the abbreviation, and after that you will be writing what? You will be writing the given words or the words that are used, given words. So in this way, serial number, how many words are to be used? 4 to 5. Therefore, serial 4 to 5 abbreviations you used. You are using it in the form of the table. You are placing it just below your format of the note making. Then it will be looking so fantastic, and the examination will certainly get impressed and will be getting the full credit. Therefore, now let us go to the note form. Let us go to the note form. While making notes, the whole information is listed in note form, in points only. Notes should not be written. Notes should not be written in complete sentence, as we cannot remember the whole information. Now, so what is the form? Okay, what is the style? Okay, in other words, we can use the word style. In what style I will be writing the note, my dear children? So the answer to it is that, so they are to be written. They are to be written not in the form of complete sentence. Many times what exactly happened, my dear children? You remember. You remember. You concentrate. So what is that? So many times, many of the children, they use the full sentence and they reproduce the whole passage too. So does it not look very clumsy? Therefore, that is not to be done. What is to be done? You will have to find out the main point, sub point, and you do what? From the main point also, the longer word also to be short. There is no use of the full sentence. You will have to write in the form of the phrase or clause. Phrase or clause. I suppose you have understood and you have mastered what is a phrase and clause. Phrase is the combination of 2-3 words that imply the meaning, and clause is the combination of words that imply the meaning, not the complete sentence. There is a noun clause, there is an adjective clause, a verb clause on the basis of the function it does in the sentence. Alright? Therefore, particularly in the complex sentence, so what is there? In the complex type of the sentence, there is the subordinate clause and the main clause. And this particularly the subordinate clause is divided into 3 major parts. One is the adjective clause, noun clause, and adverb clause. So these are things you will have to remember. This is the thing that you have learnt earlier. Therefore, this is so simply I am giving you the fresh memory to it. It implies that the logical division and the subdivision of the listed information by using figures, letters, dashes, and space. That means I will have to write the point. I will have to write the point into the form of the phrases, just by using the figures or letters, dashes and spaces, and not the complete sentence. And more particularly, so let me change the color. So this color is, I am putting this in red. All examples and figurative speeches are eliminated. Means, supposing it is the environmental pollution or any other data, what we will have to do, these data are not needed for the purpose of making the note. Because this is the example, this is the elaboration that does not consist the main point or the sub point. I suppose you understood. Then come to the main mechanism. So we are coming to the practical aspect of how to number or how to. So what is indentation? Let us see what is indentation. This indentation means a leaving space at the beginning of a line of print or writing. So that means when you are indenting, suppose this is the particular line, you are writing to the main point. Point number 2, this one. Point number 3, this one. Now, when you are writing to the sub point 1.1, this is 2.1, this is 3.1. So this you see, you have changed now. The sub point actually has different column. So when you are leaving the space, this space is left. This particular space is left in order to go to the sub point, and that is the format. This format is called indentation. Indentation. What is it called? It is called the indentation. You will understand it more better, more clearly when you go to the format, and I will show you the format. I will show you the practical format. Okay? Then it will be more transparent. First write under the title and then write under the note in a logical order. Okay? Now we are coming to the practical aspect of the theory. So first we will be writing to the title on the basis of the question what? Question what? Question what means what is it? What does it deal with? What that is talk about? So on the basis of the answer that I will get, that will be the heading or the title. And then write down the notes in a logical order. So you write down the note as if it is following the cause and effect rule, as if it is having the organic unity, as if only simply the points are not jumbled together or juxtaposed together. Juxtaposed together. Okay? Juxtaposed together. From the main heading to the sub-heading, let us see to the sub-heading. From the main heading to the sub-heading, what you will have to do, you will have to write it in a very logical manner. Come to the conclusion. Note making is a useful skill. You must develop it with constant practice. Now this is our conclusion. This is our conclusion. Fine, you can tell what? You can tell that note making is a very useful or handy technique or a skill, and you must master it. You must master it. How? By constant practice. Only through constant practice you can master it. Note form an important essential part of your academic life and will serve you well in your school or board examination. So all the time your teacher tell your notebook is ready, your assignment is ready. That means the whole lesson was taught in a detailed manner, in an elaborated manner. And when you are writing the note, you are using your own language and you are using your own way to make the note. Many times you are guessing, surmising, taking the help of the internet and other, and in this way you are abridging the note and making your note or making it more fruitful in the examination. So now let us see the steps for making the note. So I will be telling about the steps, and after the steps I will be directly going to the passage. So my dear children, it is a little lengthy, but you will have to in order to master it. आपको क्या करना पड़ेगा? So you will have to take patience, because this patience will be bearing fruit. Okay, let us see the practical steps, and if you do not know these steps, then it will be difficult in the examination. And many times what exactly happened, my dear children, let me tell you. So when you are not very much familiar, you do not write it proper format in proper format or proper way. Because of your ignorance of people will begin to laugh at your answer. Therefore, that should not happen, and that should not happen. It is only possible through our constant practice. Let us see the theory. Step 1. Read the passage क्या? Read the passage क्या? Means reading. तो ये reading मतलब कैसे करेंगे? तो हम कैसा मतलब बोला था? एक तो है मतलब ब्राउजिंग, BROWSING. ब्राउजिंग क्या होता है? सो आप जैसे कि मतलब गूगल क्रोम लेते हैं, है ना? गूगल क्रोम एक ब्राउजर है ना? एक ब्राउजर है या नहीं? BROW ब्राउजर गूगल क्रोम का है, मोजिला है ना? एनी अदर ओपेरा है. वो ब्राउजर लेके आप क्या करते हैं इंटरनेट में? मतलब क्या करते हैं? ब्राउजिंग करते हैं फॉर गेटिंग सम इंफॉर्मेशन. So in the similar manner, so when you see the passage, so you browse means you go fast. Okay, you do not bother about what? You do not bother about the meaning of the difficult word. So you center on WH means what? What does it talk about? Because you need to get the answer of the title or the so that you can do by browsing. And after that, so when you are skimming or scanning, that means you are getting the main point or the so these are the three different words: browsing, then skimming. So skimming is done by what? S W A N swan. Swan आप देखा है ना? तो pond में जो होता है, pond में swan रहता है ना? The manner it actually swims. The swans swims into the pond or the river. So in the similar manner you will have to do. You will have to go to the passage. Just to read between the lines, find out the points, find out the important points, name and subpoints. And after that, yes, I've got it. Eureka! Yes, I've got it. Means you're scanning, you have found the point, and now you are taking the proper format and you are going to write it. Therefore, this is the technique of the reading. Now let us come to the step 2. Try to get the theme. Try to get the theme and the subject of the passage. So that we have already discussed. You may ask yourself, what is this passage about? We have already discussed. This will provide you the gist, the theme, the hint, the title or the heading. Step number 2. Read carefully. Identify main points and important supporting points or the subpoints. Step number 3. Make notes of the main ideas and the heading. Main ideas under heading and add subpoints under subheading. Then step number 4. Use the proper layout or the format. Format is quite important, my dear children. So format is to be used and that is also to be according to the prescribed format of CBSE. If you go beyond that, now supposing you are writing in the form of the pie chart. Pie chart also is a kind of summarization. So you can write in the form of the diagram. Okay, but that will not be allowed. That will not be allowed. Like the flow chart, pie chart, diagram, okay, bar diagram, and this. All this will not be allowed. Therefore, we will have to use the proper format. And the format now we are going to discuss. Step number 4, use the proper layout or format. Number 1, indented or linear form, sequential form, tabular form, flow chart, pie chart, graph, diagram. So these are the different format, and for our purpose what we will be doing, we will be talking about, we will be dealing with the indented form. Will be dealing with the indented form, and linear form also is prescribed and will not be going for sequential, tabular, flow chart, pie chart and all. This pie chart, bar diagram, okay, this will not be allowed and will not go for that. And the last stage is the abbreviation that we used, and the abbreviation should be recognized abbreviation. Abbreviation should be familiar, and that also I'll be talking, and I have already talked about the abbreviations, and when it need to be, I'll be talking that. Now let us go to the passage or let us go for it. So my dear children, now see, so this is the particular format we are talking about. So this is the indented form. Okay. So we were talking about this particular format. So this is the CBSE format. This is the CBSE format we are talking about. We are talking about FORMAT format. You need not write this word format in the examination. So what you need to write, that I am going to tell you. Therefore, you will simply just go on seeing it. So first, what I will be writing? So I will be writing what? I will be writing the title. So this is into the middle I will be writing the title. This word is not needed. So simply this is the space for the title, and that is what I am showing. I will be writing to the title. So this is the space for the title. So title, as I told you, this can be written in two forms, one block or capital, other is the running letter. In the running letter you will have to write the main word or the core word, C-O-R-E, core word in capital. Then after that what you will do, so this is your format, and you will be writing the word N-O-T-E-S. Notes after that you will be giving the colon. This colon is given, and then you are starting your answer. What you are starting? So you are starting with the main point. So main point. So this is the main point. This is the heading. So these are the sub point. Okay. Sub heading means 1.1. Sub point 2, 1.2, sub point 3, 1.3. This is the main heading or the main point 2, that is now, and this is the sub heading. This is the sub heading 2.1, 2.2. These are the main heading point number 3. That means this is the line for the heading. This is the line for the sub heading, and this will be the line for the sub heading. Say for example, so we have a sub heading here, then we will be writing here. Okay, so this is the sub heading 1.3.1 means this is the sub point. So this is quite easier. I suppose you understood it. So in this way, as I told you earlier, you will have to divide the whole passage into 3 reasonable parts. This 1, 2, 3. These are the different 3 parts, and these 3 parts are contributed by the sub point. So these are contributed by this sub point, are contributed by the sub point. Okay. So this is the practical note. Okay. So when we are going to summarizing after it, the last stage, summarizing. In the summarizing, what I will be doing? So this is the linear matter. आपको क्या करना है? ये जो हेडिंग है, हेडिंग प्लस सब हेडिंग, एक सेंटेंस बनाइए. हेडिंग प्लस सब हेडिंग प्लस सब हेडिंग और एक लाइन बनाइए. So in this way you write 3 or up to 5 sentences for making the summary on the basis of the note you have written, and all this note are joined together, make the complete sentence without adding the example or the illustration or the data. Then your summarization will be complete. So I suppose, my dear children, you understood it better. Now let us go to the practical form. So now we are coming to the passage. Let us see the passage. Read the passage given below and answer the question that follows. So after the passage, the passage specific length is there for CBSE, and after the passage, so you will have the question. The question will be on the basis of the passage given above. Make note by using recognizable abbreviation, and make the summary on it, and also give a suitable title to it. Very simple. Now let us see. There are only 3 paragraphs. It is very standard one, and from there we can understand. Okay, my dear children, in the present time, what we frequently use is the computer. So through this computer, we do our daily works. We perform our daily works. But what exactly happens? So if we do not know the tips, if we do not know the techniques of using, if we do not know the posture, the way I need to sit in front of the computer, what are the exercises I need to do, then what happen? It causes many health hazards. Therefore, this passage also will give you the hint to the precautions that you need to do, take while using the computer or your day-to-day work. Therefore, let us go to the passage. Here you go. Let's continue. Flexibility and mobility are essential not only to reduce the risk of injuries but generally feel better. Flexibility and mobility. So I am underlining, you also will underline in the similar manner. This is the paragraph number 1. So first I will be browsing and then trying to underline. So you also browse. Flexibility and mobility are essential not only to reduce the risk of injuries but to generally feel better. Living a 9 to 5 desk life can be demanding on health and wellness. Here is how you can keep the most common problem at bay. So from the first paragraph itself, we come to understand what this passage actually talk about. That means we understood what we understood the title. So this is the key sentence. इसको क्या बोलते हैं? Key sentence बोलते हैं. तो उनके बारे में हम बाद में आएंगे. तो पहले हम ब्राउज कर लेते हैं पूरा पैसेज को एक बार ब्राउज कर लेते हैं. Paragraph number 2. Even if you are not exercising, you need to make sure that you maintain correct posture and sit at your desk in the right way. It is important that your chair is placed correctly and your legs are not left hanging. Proper alignment ensures that your neck and the back are not strained. Exercise and abdominal crunches 2 to 3 times a week can strengthen the core. It will help take the pressure off your back and will make it easier to maintain the good posture. Chairs with a back that support your upper back are preferable for those who work long hours in front of screens. So in this part, those people who are working at the desk or in front of the monitor. So what are the type of the posture needed? What sort of chair is needed? So these are postures and chairs, and some tips are needed even though he is not going for exercise. So this will be helpful for him. If not, then hazard. Constant typing or writing reports and answering emails can exert your wrist, leading to a long-term damage. The frequency of your use and how you position your wrist at your keyboard can be a reason. The telltale sign of the exertion would be a tingling sensation or numbness. One should not ignore initial sign. Make sure that you rest your wrist at a regular interval to relieve your tension quickly. Fold your hands in a namaste in front of your chest with elbow moving out and lower your hands till you feel a good stretch in your wrist. Also, rotating your fist inside and outside provide much relief to your strained wrist. So this is, my dear children, is our passage. So in this passage, as I have done, so I have underlined the main point. So I have shown you the key sentence. So the basis of the key sentence, you can make the heading or the title. Then you can come. So this heading will be the first point too. आपका जो heading होगा, आपका जो title होगा, वही ज्यादातर केस में क्या होता है, फर्स्ट हेडिंग होता है, मीन्स फर्स्ट आपका मेन पॉइंट होता है. So in the second, many times there is a lot of confusion, but here this passage is quite clear. So in one paragraph you can see one main point, in second paragraph second main point, third main paragraph third point, and in this way this is a beautifully arranged, giving only 3 major points with some sub points. Then it becomes quite easier to make the note on it. So let us continue. Okay, one more paragraph is there, my dear children. So you see this paragraph. Since those who work on the decks spend a lot of time looking at the computer screen, they are at a risk of straining their eyes. This may also lead to the dry eye and fatigue. Poor eyesight is the result of continuous exposure and improper exposure to screen. Keeping the computer screen at an optimal distance helps a lot in minimizing the strain to eye. The screen should not be too close or too far. To ease eye strength, use a good lighting and make it a point to look at a distance away from your screen every 20 to 30 minutes. So the last paragraph actually summarizes the point. So first it talks about what the problem it suffers, means what are the reasons for the constant exposure, what are the risks, what are the hazards. So the risk is that so it will lead to the drying of the eyes and to the fatigue. Fatigue means the tiredness. So this in order to last point is that poor eyesight is resulted, and the last point is that what you need to do in order to save yourself from the poor eyesight. So some tips are given, means you look outside, you look at the sky, you look at the greenery after every 20 to 30 minutes. These are the tips, so that we can keep our eyesight better. And moreover, what we need to do, we also need to keep the distance also is very important. The distance of our eye from the computer screen also very important. Means in scientific form, this focal length is important. So if it is too far, then also it is problem. If it is too close, then also it will be causing a lot of problem to the eye. Therefore, you need to see that the distance is optimum. The distance is optimum. Therefore, this is the passage. Now we will make the note on it. So let us see how do we make the note on it. So now let us see the point here. On the basis of your reading of the passage, make note on it using headings and subheadings. Use recognizable abbreviations and a format you consider suitable. Also, supply a title to it. Write a summary of the passage in not more than 80 words using the notes made. This is a very clear, my dear children. So when you are making the summary, when you are writing the gist, okay, the abridged idea, shortened form of the idea in the form of the sentence. So you see that there is not more than 80 words. That means you can go to 100 as the maximum, 100 words. Suppose one sentence consists of, suppose 12 words, then 5 into 12 means what? 60. If it is a 14 word, 5, 14, 70 words. Okay, if it is a 16, so in this similar manner, so you can see that your summary consists of 5 to 6 sentences only. 80 to 100 words at the most. And that will be writing on the basis of the note by using the proper format provided by or prescribed by CBSE. Now let us see the note. So here we go. Let us continue. So first you see, my dear children, I have written this ahead. Health and wellness for deaf user. Very good. Okay. Title I have written in the block letter. Okay, in block letters or in capitals. You can write in this manner also into the running form. Health, H capital, health, N small, wellness is main word, wellness, for desk is main word, desk, users. Okay, so this will be the title, and after the title, in any of the form, running or the block form, you can underline it. Okay, then it will be attractive. So after that, my dear children, after writing the title, what we'll do, we'll be going for the writing the note in the practical form. So we have already underlined the main concept or the main concept or the line. Now we'll be going for the practical notes. So practical notes, for that what we'll do, so this is the particular format. This is called the indented format, and we'll have to use the indented format for making the notes. So now you can use this running form also, or this one also. It is better to write the word notes either in running or in log. And after that, so this is your, है ना, supposing ये आपका margin है, ये आपका A4 size paper है, ये आपका margin है. In this imaginary line you are starting your answer. ये जो line है, ये line आपकी किसके लिए है? This is the line for your main point. This is the column or the line for your sub point, and this is the line for your sub point. And here in this passage is very clear cut passage, and therefore it has a less sub point, and we have only the sub point. Therefore, let us see now. So that the first paragraph, let us see, it talks about what? The correct question. So we again go to the first paragraph once. First paragraph. Flexibility and mobility are essential not only to reduce the risk of injuries but to generally feel better. Living a 9 to 5 desk life can be demanding on health and wellness. Here is how we can keep the most common problem at bay. That means here it talks about the kind of the posture, means the kind of the posture or the pose, the way you sit in front of your table. That is quite important. Therefore, it talks about that particular thing. Therefore, we are talking about the correct posture. In order to get the correct posture, what is needed? Place chair correctly for your neck and back. So, in place of this N, you can use this symbol. Correctly, in place of correctly, I have written CORR. Then after that, so this is the first part, and then this last part is LY. Okay. So in this way, this is the invented form of the abbreviation. Then let us go to the next sub point. Do not hang legs. So when you are hanging your legs, it actually does not get relaxed. It is strained. Okay, it is strained. Therefore, that is not means. What are the do's and don'ts? आपको क्या करना है, क्या नहीं करना है. आपका करेक्ट पोस्चर जो है वो बहुत मायने रखते हैं, वो बहुत कीमती है. और ये मतलब करने के लिए आपको क्या करना है और क्या नहीं करना है. दीज आर द सब पॉइंट. मेन पॉइंट है आपको एक सपोज मतलब आपका एक ट्री है ना, एक ये ट्री हुआ. ये ट्री का जो है, ये जो ट्री है, ये इसको मतलब क्या बोलते हैं? TRUN के ट्रंक बोलते हैं, है ना, ट्रंक बोलते हैं. और ये जो होता है मतलब ये क्या होता है? ये ब्रांच होता है ना, BRANC, ब्रांच. और ये ब्रांच से मतलब जो क्या होता है? सब ब्रांच होता है ना. Therefore, this trunk is the main point or the main heading, and sub headings are the branches, and sub headings are the sub branches which are smaller, which contribute to or which is attached to the branch. That is called the sub branch. Is it clear? Now let us continue. Exercises and abdominal branches. Abdominal word also is written in the short form. So this is written some few letters from the beginning and few from the last. So in this way, the word is abbreviated or shortened. Choose a chairs with a supporter from the upper bed. Or in place of choose, you can write choosing chairs. Means you are writing in the form of gerund also. Means the verb ing gerund form that works as the noun that also can be used. Choose chairs with support from the upper bed. Now let us come to the second point. The second point, maintaining wrist flexibility. Let us see the main point. So in order to see the second paragraph, even if you are not exercising, you need to make sure that you maintain the correct posture. So this is for us, the first point is over, and sit at your rigor into the right way. It is important that your chair is placed correctly and your legs are not left hanging. Means up to this our main point is over. Now into the third part, constant typing and writing reports and answering emails can exert your wrist, leading to the long-term damage. The frequency of your use and how your position, your wrist at your keyboard can be a reason. The telltale signs of the exertion would be tingling sensation or numbness. One should not ignore the initial sign. Make sure that you rest your wrist at a regular interval. So this is another one. Now you are suffering with the problem. So correct posture. In order to take the correct posture, what you need to do, and then what you need to do. One should not means this in this particular passage. You need to see that this is a kind of a suggestion that is given by the narrator or the author. One should not ignore the initials and make sure that you rest your wrist at regular intervals. This is the suggestion. To relieve tension quickly, fold your hands in Namaste. Okay, fold your hand in Namaste. You start it now. Then you can see that you get a lot of relaxation, and lower your hand till you feel a good stretch in your wrist. Because the wrist actually get very much tight. Okay, tightening feel. Also rotating your fist inside and outside provide much relief to strained wrist. Therefore, let us go to the second point. Second point, let us see maintain the wrist flexibility. Means how to maintain the flexibility of the wrist. So let us see this point 2 points. Okay, point number 2. So here we go. Let us continue. A wrong position can cause a wrist damage, cause a tingling. Relax the wrist regularly into Namaste position. Rotate the wrist inside and outside. So this point number 2 and sub point 3, 2.3. Now let us see the third point, preventing eye strain. So we have seen into the last paragraph. So there is a damage, there is a strain, there is exertion onto the eye, and what are the steps to be taken in order to prevent the strain onto the eye. So let us go to the last paragraph. So here we go. Let us continue. Let us go back to. Since those who work on the desk spend a lot of time looking at the computer screen, they are at a risk of straining their eyes. This may lead to the eye dryness and fatigue. Poor eyesight is the result of the continuous and improper exposure to screen. Keeping the computer screen at an optimal distance help a lot in minimizing strains to eye. That means we are talking about how to minimize the strain or the stress caused on the eye. That is talked about as the main point in the last paragraph. So let us go to the main point, point number 3 in that we found in the last paragraph. Preventing the eye strain. What is to be done? Eye strain can cause dry eye or fatigue. Keep a computer screen at an optimal distance to prevent poor eyesight. Optimal means that is needed. use a good lighting. Okay, if you are using the computer into the darkness, that also cause the damage to your eyesight. That also is needed to be taken care of. That is also the kind of the suggestion given in the last page, the paragraph of the passage. Look at a distant spot every 20 to 30 minutes. So last, not but the least suggestion that is given is that you frequently look outside at the greenery or the blue sky so that you get this. My dear children, I suppose you understood it better and your understanding of note making is complete. In order to get to the perfection, what is needed is that complete or persistent practice. Therefore, practice makes a person perfect. You can get the knowledge through practice, and when you get the knowledge, you become powerful. My dear children, I suppose you could have followed it better. Therefore, the last part we will see the table. In the table that is used for the abbreviation. So this is the table you see. Serial number is given. Abbreviation word used. In this way you will be writing. So we have written in the first point correctly this form. Correctly the word is exercises. Abdominal. Damage. Regularly. Lightning. So there are some other ways also to invent the word for particularly for the abbreviation. What is that? So some 3 points are there. So I will be discussing these 3 points and then we will continue. The first one is that you write the first few words. I mean the first few letters. First few letters and then put a dot. Then your abbreviation is over. Then many times what is done is, so you eliminate or omit the vowels from the word. That also is the abbreviation form of the word. And many times from the first you take a sum of the letters, from the last you take sum of the letters and put dot. That also is the abbreviation that is invented and understood and recognized in CBSE. So my dear children, so this is the abbreviation. So now we will be going to the summary. So how we write the summary, you see, beautiful summary we have written from the note that we have written. Desk users are at a constant risk of losing flexibility, mobility and wellness due to the long working hours. You see this one, tally with the note, then you will see that. So it talks about the problem, losing the flexibility, mobility and the wellness due to the constant use of the desk or the monitor. Good selection of the office chair means what are the ways to be taken. Now you are writing it in the organic form, beautifully arranged. Okay. So now you are telling the steps to be taken. Office chair and the proper postures are essential for neck and the back health. Damage to the wrist can be prevented by exercising them frequently. Eyes too are at risk due to the looking at the computer constantly for a long time. Optimal distance from the screen will prevent the fatigue, dry eyes and poor movement. Good lighting is essential. One should look away from the screen every 20 to 30 minutes. So my dear children, this summary also is over. Therefore, your note mapping is complete. Therefore, what we will do, we will practice and get perfected. Today's session and the note mapping is complete. So I suppose you understood it and you will practice a particular passage and you will show it to me. With that, let us conclude. Thanks to all.